Stearns goes to the New York Mets, takes the New York Mets job. He's now in charge. He's the president of player personnel over there. He's everything that the Mets were looking for. Steve Cohen has been friends with him for many, many years. There were conversations over the last 2 years that when he became available, he was going to the Mets. What are your thoughts? Tell us a little bit of what you know about Stearns. What type of guy is he as an executive, and what type of executive could he be for the New York Mets?
I like him. I mean, I guess technically I was still playing, and he was, the main guy with the Brewers. So I guess he was my boss there for a while. I like him. He's good. He's with it. He knows what's going on. Not much slips through the cracks. He's very smart. It's actually funny because I saw him at the winter meetings. The winter meetings are in Nashville. I live in Nashville, so I had no business up there, but just decided I'm just going to go up there and see who I see, which was great because I saw like tons of former teammates. Saw Frank Thomas from a distance. He follows me on Twitter. I've never met him, but I was just like, "What's up, Frank?" And I didn't say that really, so he never waved. But, it was good, and I saw Stearns there, and he was kind of in a hurry. He's probably making deals, and he saw me, and he kind of did a nod. And he was just going to be like, "Hey, Tim, what's going on?" But I made him stop, and he shook my hand. I was like, "Hey, Dave, what's going on, man?" He's like, "I'm good." I was like, "You're making deals? Is that what you're doing?" And he's like, "It's crazy time." I was like, "Well, good to see you." And then I thought about the last time I saw him. It was at American Family Field in Milwaukee, and they have like a golf place there, and we were pouring beers for fans. That's the last time I saw him. We were pouring beer together. That gives you some idea of the guy that just, he loves baseball. And I think it's no surprise that he's going to be with the Mets. I think people knew that was coming. He's going to turn that around because I think we all can agree they didn't do their best last year, and they had some remarkable players.
Yeah, no, they did not. So they had to trade $131 million of it at the trade deadline, and they still have to pay Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander $43 million next year.
Ohtani's like chump change, but
yeah.
God,
so speaking of the Mets, I wanted to ask you about there were two ends of it. Corbin Burnes on your team going possibly in rumors in trade. His 1 year left on his deal, was not too happy with the Brewers handling arbitration, and the Mets now are the favorites, being that David Stearns is there. So that's one. And then number two, Pete Alonso, the Brewers were rumored to be linked to him too. So what are your thoughts on those two potential rumors?
Well, I was teammates with Corbin Burnes. Love the guy. I mean, he's great. He's a super authentic person. What you see out there, that's him. And, I mean, he's elite. He just is. And it's amazing that he does good at home. He does good on the road. He does good in every environment. We play together in Colorado Springs, Colorado, which is higher elevation than Denver. And, it's like pitching on the moon. So my job, being the oldest guy on the team every year for 4 years, was basically to just try to speak some perspective into everybody. And, I mean, it's a tough gig. And there was one or two things that came out of Colorado Springs when you were there. That's AAA. It was AAA for the Brewers then. It was either your career was over as a pitcher, or it gave you like rhinoceros skin, right? So that you could overcome anything. So there's no surprise to me that you see these Brewers pitchers, Freddie Peralta, Adrian Hauser, Brandon Woodruff, of course, Josh Hader, he was there as well, and Corbin Burnes. These guys it was almost like the big leagues was easier than what we were pitching in a AAA, and they've shined. So yeah, if the Mets, pull that off and get Corbin Burnes, I mean, y'all will be happy. The guy's an ace. He's a winner. He just wants this team to do well, and he brings it every single game. And then Pete Alonso, before he deleted all his social media, we were friends on Twitter, and I loved him. I interacted a few times with him. He's awesome. Polar bear. If the Brewers had him at first base, my goodness. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't even want to talk about it. I didn't even know those rumors were going around, honestly.
It was swirling for 2 months. It was the Brewers and the Cubs, both interested in Pete Alonso.
I'm off duty, man.